#OtomeAlly. Who would have thought that the seemingly positive hashtag is what would put the nail in the coffin on Western Otome fans' distaste for a company just 1 year prior we were all rejoicing over?
It was the juxtaposition of the word ally, feigning support next to a rather cold tweet reading. Demand is determined by sales. If Touken Ranbu Warriors does well, there's potential for more #RubyParty, #KT family, #OtomeAlly. Hopeful fans were outraged.
Piss off the entire Western market in one tweet, #OtomeAlly.
I really dislike their tone. It makes it sound like a threat too. Buy this or no Otome. Then there's the #OtomeAlly tag, which is cringe.
LMAO, this is not very #OtomeAlly of you at all, KT. What kind of company can't even differentiate their own target audiences? Demand for Touken Ranbu Warriors, a Josemuke Muso game, does not correlate with the demand for RubyParty Otome localizations.
This comes after last year with the #RubyParty Come West was trending all over social media, begging the RubyParty sector of gaming giant Koei Tecmo to bring and localize their Otome games here in the Western market.
However, when Koei Tecmo responded to backlash over their most recent tweets telling Otome fans to buy a Warrior game to show demand for Otome, a new story seemed to unfold. They said, "Thanks for all these comments. We wanted this information/reaction to show the desire of the mainstream RubyParty Otome games from the Otome community. We've been pushing since 2018 for the opportunity and don't plan on giving up anytime soon. #KT family, #OtomeAlly."
After Koei responded to upset fans in DMs and even more responses came to light, it appeared that there might be more than meets the eye to these Japanese companies localizing Otome here in the Western market.
Today we go deep undercover to bring you the truth of Otome Gate, our second case on Latte Foam Investigates.
First, let's dive into the information we have from DMs exchanged between Otome fans and Koei Tecmo's company. Both Blurry Otome and Apple Justice on Twitter publicly shared their experiences, so let's get into that now. Blurry got a response saying, "Hi Blurry, sorry, we wanted to show the Otome community's reaction to Touken Ranbu Warriors to show that it's not something that targets well to the community and shouldn't be a judging factor. We know that this isn't an Otome game, but RubyParty is involved. This probably wasn't the best approach, and I apologize for that, but we have been actively supporting and trying to push RubyParty and its titles. We've been encouraging these titles since 2018.
On the other hand, Apple Justice shared a bit more details in their Twitter thread here. Regarding the Koei RubyParty situation, Koei informed me that they have been pushing for RubyParty titles since 2018 and have been providing data to the parent company, I assume, as they mentioned HQ, to show the significant growth of the Otome game fanbase. Data on Otome games have been collected to show the potential in sales. According to them, the localization of Touken Ranbu Warriors was the first light that they saw for RubyParty titles in the West. Koei explained that the tweets were made to show HQ that Touken Ranbu Warrior sales should not be used as an indicator to judge how Otome game titles will do. They did, however, apologize for the situation and recognize that what they did was not the best approach.
So who is RubyParty and who is Koei Tecmo and who is the parent company?
Well, it turns out the parent company and HQ is just Koei Tecmo themselves. There's no one above Koei Tecmo. However, it's potential that their reference is speaking from the Koei US team, their perspective viewing Koei Tecmo Japan as HQ.
Koei Tecmo is a gaming giant based in Japan with over 1,500 employees globally. You probably recognize some of their games, Tellier, Dead or Alive, and Dynasty Warriors, which is probably their most popular IP. The Warriors IP is on the fighting style of the game, which is used in collaboration with other major series like Persona 5 Strikers and the upcoming Fire Emblem Warriors game.
This is actually the style that will be used in the upcoming game that caused all of this otometwt drama to begin with, Touken Ranbu Warriors, which is basically another Warriors game, meaning a tactical action game but with RubyParty's influence, with what we can only assume was with creating the characters, since all of the Warriors are handsome men.
Backing up a bit, let's explain who RubyParty is, as they are a subsidiary of Koei Tecmo and they create all the Otome games for that brand. And actually, the division is credited with creating Otome in Japan itself. The unique thing about RubyParty being a Koei Tecmo subsidiary is that all of their Otome games are beyond just a simple visual novel and include pretty elaborate gameplay elements since they are able to use the developers from the parent company on these aspects.
And likewise, Koei Tecmo can use RubyParty's expertise in crafting Ikemen, which is how Touken Ranbu Warriors was born. This tactical action game, which RubyParty had its hands in helping develop since all of the main characters are handsome men, is how all of this started. Regardless of the mere presence of handsome men, Touken Ranbu Warriors is not an Otome game, though it does target a female audience, which Otome games do as well, hence the potential link.
Of course, the main problem is that many Otome lovers are not interested in warrior games like this, despite there being handsome men in that, because we want to romance them.
Exactly.
So how did the Western audience's plea for a Ruby Party Come West get misconstrued? Let's go back for the most recent push for Ruby Party's localization.
In response to the hashtag being spread around and a message sent directly to KT's support, Koei Tecmo gave a generic PR response in Japanese, which online fans translated, and it said, "Koei Tecmo Games user support, thank you for using our product. I want you to release the English version of the Otome game produced by Ruby Party. We would like to inform you about the inquiries as follows. Thank you for your valuable opinions and requests. Please tell us what you received from our customers and the voices of our overseas product fans. We will inform the department in charge of what you have received and use it as a reference for future product development. Please note that we cannot always promise to reflect this. The above is the information regarding the matter you have inquired about. We look forward to your continued patronage of our products."
As you can see, they state that they will use the hashtag Ruby Party Come West as a reference for future product development.
Right, which Touken Ranbu Warriors is a future product development with Ruby Party's influence, and it has come west.
With Koei Tecmo's smash hits all being warrior titles, giving Ruby Party a chance to release a warrior-style game with Ikemen does seem like a logical first step from their perspective.
Right, and although the framing of buy this warrior games and then you might get more Ruby Party Otome games is unfortunate, it was also a catalyst to a more clearly defined conversation of what the Western market actually wants from Ruby Party, which is Otome games.
It's also important to note that we have not had any direct communication with Ruby Party. It's all been through Koei Tecmo and through Twitter. It's actually unclear how the actual team of Ruby Party feels.
Right, no one's been able to actually speak to the Ruby Party team. But from Koei Tecmo's perspective, we can deduce 3 reasons that Otome isn't getting localized from them. Number 1, globally, their bread and butter is those Warriors games, and they sell a lot of those. Number 2, sales from games like Atelier and Dynasty Warriors are pretty hard for Otome games to beat. And number 3, that's important because localizing niche text-based games is really expensive.
All of that text getting translated is one thing, and many think that that's where it stops. You need a strong team with excellent skills in the English market with a nuanced understanding of the Otome need in order to actually successfully market the game here in the West. How do you even begin hiring specific professionals from a country away?
And while we definitely want more Otome-style Ruby Party games to come over to the West, as game makers ourselves, we have an understanding of the intense investment that comes with localization. We can understand the choice to keep making Japanese games only up to this point and the security of a market that they already know like the back of their hands.
Yeah, it's a risky move. I mean, look at Voltage. The only way they could successfully come to the West was to literally set up a headquarters here in the US and hire a specific team. And while they worked well to get them set up here, they couldn't afford to keep that going, and the whole US department was shut down, leaving lots of people without jobs.
Yeah, that just happened earlier this year, but they needed that initial major investment to get established here. It was kind of the only way. It's not as simple as hiring a translator and editor and that's it.
And even for companies like Otome, who have been successful in coming over, 2 of their major players recently quit. That was the other big news story this past week, and they started their own company.
It can be hard to work within the confines of a major Japanese corporation, as there are so many approvals needed and there is a tendency to keep things to the status quo.
In closing, we want to say that we definitely felt the same upset that you all felt, and we also want Ruby Party to come to the West with their Otome localizations. And we do think Western Otome fans deserve better, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a tough one to get more Japanese companies to localize here in the West.
Right, and that's a big reason we actually started our company. We realized that as we were playing these Japanese Otome games that haven't been localized yet, that there's so many great qualities that aren't found in the standard Otome titles that come over. So we want to create our own games in that style, and we hope that we'll have news for you soon about our first console game.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we just want to spread the joy of Otome, the joy of gaming, to all Otome lovers alike.
I think that's case closed for now, though we'll be ready to crack it back open if there are any updates. Though for now, we want to turn the question back over to you guys. What are your thoughts after hearing the full story that we uncovered here today? Do you think Ruby Party's Otome games will ever come west? We'd love to chat in the comments down below.
And be sure to catch us on Twitter. You can follow our company page, Lovely Inc., and we can chat about more Otome stuff all week long. Until next time, bye! This is gonna be a bitch to edit.
I know.